Wild and isolated children and the critical age issue in language learning. What is a wild and isolated children? Wild children are human children who grow up with little or no experience of care, who live isolated from human contact from a very young age, so that they have a little or no human care, behavior, or language. They have no social attitudes or loving care or experience with any human. Often these wild children are alienated by their own families or neglected. Wild children are usually physical and mentally abused and may experience severe abuse or trauma before escaping. Some of these wild children were brutally locked up or not considered by their own parents and rejected perhaps because of their intellectual or physical impairment. Several cases of children who grew in isolated experienced drastic deprivation of language input during the critical period for first language acquisition are reported in the literature. These children failed to acquire a language even after exposure to language and sometimes formal language teaching, and their main domain of difficulty was morphosyntax. One of the rules of psycholinguistics in this case of Isabel, and I will explain the case of Isabel, confinement with a mute mother. Isabel was born in 932. She was an illegitimate child and was kept in seclusion for the reason. Her mother had developed normally up to age of 2 years and then, as a result of an accident, had become deaf mute and had not been educated. From the day Isabel was born until she was a little over 6 years of age, mother and child spent their time together in a dark room with the blinds drawn, separated from the rest of the family. The parents of the mother did not permit her to leave the house alone. She eventually escaped, however, carrying her child with her. And this way, Isabel's case was brought to the notice of authorities. When her intelligence was first tested at the age of 6 and a half, her mental age appeared to about 19 months. In the place of normal speech, she made a croaking sounds. By means of intensive training and stimulating environment, Isabel improved so much that she was considered a child of normal intelligence. By the age of 8, her language development had been rapid. By that time, she already had a vocabulary of 1,500 to 2,000 words. She enjoyed and could recite nursery rhymes. She could tell a story and make one up. She could now create and share with others a world of imagination, and she was confined in her use language to immediate and the concrete. And the next, the progress of Isabel. Isabel's first attempt at vocalization came just 1 week after Mason's first visit with her. The child's first spoken sounds were approximation of ball and car in response to being shown a ball and a toy car and being prompted by Mason through gesture and try and say the words. In less than 3 months after her entrance to the hospital, Isabel was producing sentence utterances. After 1 year, Isabel understood the stories she listened to and retold them even with a limited vocabulary. In other cases, the deceases, the parents of the cause, either fled after being abused, while children are described as being raised by wild animals. Some wild children are even allowed to live in the wild, but many more end up in the wild being adopted by animals as a result of various circumstances, getting lost, being taken by wild animals, and etc. Being they have no social behavior, science still would They cannot have conversation with other people because most of them cannot speak or walk. The majority of wild children bite, scratch, growl, and walk on all fours. I think this enough from my explanation. Thank you for watching and see you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.